Hello, this is the Worst Take podcast where we actually do have the worst takes. We're discussing all things film, including upcoming ones like Dune Messiah, Wild Horse 9, and Spider Man. I'm Callum, and joining me today are my co hosts, Ben and Zalima. Let's get started.
Wild Horse 9. What is that?
Don't know.
War Horse 9?
War Horse.
Is that what you said?
Wild Horse.
No, Wild Horse.
Wild Horse 9.
It's the new Martin McDonough film.
Is that the trailer that Ben shared?
Ben's,
John
yeah.
Malkovich and Sam Rockwell. Couldn't tell what it's about. Really have no idea.
I was going to say, I watched the first 2 minutes. Well, I didn't. I watched the first 20 seconds of that trailer and was like, not for me.
War Horse 9.
That's what I thought he said.
I'm amazed they managed to make another 8 of them, to be honest.
So why is there
the
9 war horses? Why can't you just have the one? Like they do in the Odyssey. Right?
That was awful.
Right. Well, at least you know what
That one's a
moving on.
Trojan horse, though, isn't it?
So I think it's about Sam Rockwell and John Malkovich are CIA agents who were sent there, but in reality, they've been sent there for John Malkovich's character to be killed off.
so basically in Bruges.
But they're on Easter Island this time.
I thought it was
And it's got
the CIA doing a regime change or something. But I really am not sure.
maybe. Good thing with Martin McDonough is you just sort of never know until you actually watch the film.
The top comment on the YouTube said he's like the Irish PTA, which I quite liked.
Except he's better than PTA.
Well, debatable.
I'm just hoping Sam Rockwell gets another Oscar from this.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's great. I love seeing him in his films.
He's the best thing in every film he's ever been in.
Yeah.
He's the only reason that Iron Man 2 is as watchable as it is.
He's great.
So, but yeah, that looks good. Obviously, the two big ones are Dune Messiah and
That's actually called Dune Messiah. It's called
Spider-Man.
3.
Dune Part 3. But it is Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
Which everyone's saying has been released now because they wanted to put Oscar-winning actor Timothée Chalamet in, but obviously that didn't happen, so they've just gone off.
They had an edit where it said Oscar-winning actor, and they've had to go, oh, get rid of it, get it going, change it. I thought doing it the day after his Oscar loss was an interesting choice.
But I think that's what they would have planned anyway, because they would have expected him to win the Oscar. Would have been like, yeah.
I think it's interesting that, like, because it was the day after that they released all those photos, didn't they? Of like Paul Atreides' face and all the other ones. But I think they were definitely planning to do that, whether he won it or not, obviously. But
yeah.
But I'm very excited for Dune Part 3. I really can't wait to see what Villeneuve does with it.
It looks really good. It looks very different to the book as well, so it'll be interesting what he does.
I've not read the book. I've only read the first one, so I'm not going to read the book for this one. I'm very excited to see where they go with it and what happens.
Well, the first two films are like 300 pages worth of the first book, or like each 300 pages, but like the writing in it is like tiny, like the font size. Dune Messiah is like big font size, and it's only like 250 pages.
Oh, nice.
So I'm interested how he's gonna
stretch it out.
He's gonna have to stretch it out a bit.
Yeah.
And there's not that much action in Dune Messiah, so. But then it looks like it's going to be quite action heavy in this one, or at least have some big action scenes, which would be nice.
No, I'm really excited. I think it would be a great film. I mean, Part 2 was one of the best films of the decade.
I still think Part 1's better.
It's not though. It's just not in the slightest.
It's like how Fellowship of the Ring is better than Two Towers.
No, it's not at all like that. I like Part 1, but it is a bit slow. Part 2 is just
it's the world building.
Yeah, but Part 2 has
great.
world building, and it's just so much better.
Yeah. What do you think, Zalima? Part 1 or Part 2?
My favourite. Oh, Part 2. Sorry, I did really like Part 2.
Oh shit!
But only because I really like all the like, listen, I got you stuff. I think it's just so fun. But I also like my favourite thing about Dune is that I genuinely don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the politics of everything. I don't know why everybody hates each other. All I know is that it looks cool, and I'm like, okay, nice. Sure, I guess. But it's fun. I like it. They're fun films. I'm just like, I don't know. He goes a little bit crazy, doesn't he? In this next one. Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, it's been a bit crazy in the second one,
Mm.
but I quite
Since
like
he's
it.
had that like the worm juice.
Yeah, he just thinks that
He's
the man.
It's an interesting phrase in that one.
well, that's what it is. It's almost like the water of life, or
Yeah,
whatever it's
that,
called.
that was better than worm juice.
But it would be so much better if she came out and was like, "Do you want the worm juice?"
Yeah, what were they thinking? Not saying that. Weird.
Will it become the best trilogy ever?
I think I'll be excited to see how the film starts. You know, on a brand new day. Oh, that leads me on to the next Spider-Man brand new day.
You
Which
know,
also
there
looks
could have
quite
been
good.
a better. There could have been a way better way to say to go into Spider-Man by being like, oh well, you know who's pretty cool? Zendaya. You know what Zendaya is in? Brand New Day.
Yeah, mine was there. Mine was
Trailer
there.
also
And
came
then we
out
could have
this
gone into
week.
the drama, and then we could have also gone
Exactly.
into the
See, you're
Odyssey.
not
Yeah,
thinking,
right,
Ben. You're
right.
not thinking.
Anyway, Spider-Man was pretty referencing an old comic with him swinging with a villain in his arms.
They've multiple old comics. Did you not? There's like a few that they're referencing,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
which look really, really,
Is
really
it
cool.
just like baiting people, or
Oh,
do you
for
reckon
sure.
they're
It's going to be
actually?
in the first 5 minutes of the film, and
Mm.
that's it. It's going to be a quick
Or
montage.
the last five?
Yeah, it's going to be a montage of him doing all of these fights.
Oh yeah, it's like
And
what Deadpool and Wolverine did when they did the all the variations of Wolverine.
hmm.
Mm.
But I feel like it's going to
It's
be
going
a
to be
good
better
film
than Deadpool and
regardless.
Wolverine, though.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that they should gain their memory back of Peter. I don't think that's.
No,
It's
I hope they sort of keep that.
yeah, undermines No Way Home otherwise.
Give it. I say like towards the end of, because I'm assuming this is the start of a second trilogy, and I hope
Yeah,
that
we're gonna do.
maybe by the end of the second film, maybe early on in the third one, they can start sort of like remembering.
Mm.
But I think leave it a bit.
I
Let
don't
Peter have his
know.
own dilemmas.
Mm.
I think that they might make them remember at the end of this film, but they won't be as willing to be like besties with Spider-Man as they were in the first trilogy. I think they'll know, but I think they'll hate him for it in a way. Because again, it's too easy to
Mm.
just give him back his best friend and his love interest immediately. Way too easy. But in the trailer, you can see that Ned and MJ are actively trying to figure out who Spider-Man is. I think they will find out, but they don't remember Peter. So I feel like all of their memories with him anyway aren't gonna matter. But I think they will find out who he is. I just don't think that it will matter, really.
Well, also like MJ's with someone else now.
Yeah.
She was with someone. She was definitely like.
I I think it's heavily implied
I
that
think it
she's.
is definitely heavily implied that she's with someone else. But then
We shall
also
see.
they're at uni. I feel like they are gonna try and do the whole Harry Osborn stuff. Like they are gonna go down that route.
I really hope they will, because I just think that's more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going through with some organic webbing as well, and a bit of Spider-Man using his powers.
Yeah,
Briefly.
well, yeah. So I was seeing some stuff, people saying that basically because this is why he starts to mutate, is because he's Spider-Man so often, he basically like, I don't know, he's like stressed being Peter, and then he starts to mutate, which is why he's becoming this organic
Man Spider.
Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. But yeah, also very, very what's the word? What is the word? The fact that they use the word mutant is my point, is pretty cool. Because I think they are definitely slowly introducing mutants. I mean, they have been for a while, but I think now, in a way where it's like, people are mutating now. So maybe they might bring
I
in Jean Grey.
I think they're like maybe pushing that quicker now that they're not doing the whole Kang stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it'd be cool to see if they. I don't know. Well, obviously they got Doctor Doom, but I think who's going to be the next big bad? I think they could probably go with like a Magneto or someone. Or Galactus. I haven't watched Fantastic Four, so I don't know where they left Galactus, but
He's
Uh,
in a port far away, not too
Galactus
close.
is not going to be the next big bad.
It wasn't that exciting, I didn't think.
I think it
Fair
looked
enough.
cool. I
Yeah.
liked Fantastic Four, but I'm pretty easy to please, to be fair, in when it comes to Marvel. I feel like you give me two
Mm.
things that I like, that does me. But um yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do for the next big bad. But I want them to keep Spider-Man as a street level hero
Yeah,
Mm.
for a while.
that's
Because they're bringing
really
back Daredevil and Jessica Jones, I need I need that back. I need like Defenders with Spider-Man.
bad. Mm. Oh, it was cool seeing Frank Castle as well. That was cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll sort of separate Spider-Man away from like
That's what I'm
the more
hoping, that
like
they do that. Because again, like nobody
you can bring
remembers
him in for
Peter
like
Parker.
Avengers, but
Well,
mm,
in a while, I guess, but right now. Oh, well, Doomsday, you mean? Yeah,
yeah.
probably. I don't know. I
But
just
then he
hope
doesn't
that.
need. He can be in Doomsday, but people don't need to like know who he is and don't need to be like
But even
super
then, I feel like
affiliated.
they might now, because that's kind of gimmicky. You know, the whole, oh, who's this guy? That's probably going to be one of the lines if they do have him in it. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? And then also, it's still the same Tony Stark and Spider-Man relationship propaganda with the bloody always like a father figure. I don't think that they should go down that route and have. I think he just shouldn't be in Doomsday. I think he should be separate, like the Netflix group are for a bit at least for like two of his next films. You know what I mean? And then when people start remembering, or when he starts to become like a prominent figure again, then reintroduce him into bigger groups. But
Maybe they'll do like a sort of side plot for the like Daredevil and Spider-Man and
yeah,
Doomsday where they're not really interacting, but they're still
yeah,
involved.
maybe.
Have to wait and see.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I can't think what else has come out really.
The
I
drama,
wonder what
which
Zendaya also
I
is in.
yeah,
The drama.
which I still
Was
have no idea. I honestly don't know what it's about because I've watched the two little like all the little stuff they're putting out,
yeah.
and I can't tell if it's like it because they keep saying, "Oh, do you want to try that again?" So are they just trying to start a relationship, even though they?
No, I think what it's I think it's about like this couple who I'm assuming probably get together quite quickly, and don't know each
Hmm.
other very well. And I think the drama is something has happened between or one of their lives that the other person has no idea about. And it comes up because in one of the trailers, I think Zendaya's character like reveals something that she did, and I think that that puts them on like a little rocky situation. But
yeah,
if your wedding's next
Hmm.
week, there's not really much you can do if you find out that I don't know, your wife beat up a dog. Like what? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what it's about. Like, you know, and
It's a good segue into
weddings,
Dime. I love that.
weddings are all about drama. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, I think. I think it's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna be everybody's cup of tea though. I don't think it's gonna be like,
I
yeah.
really want to like it because
I
it's
think
got. I
I'm gonna
like.
like it
Oh,
and you might not.
we'll see. We'll see.
I have no real opinion of it. I don't think I like it personally, just as my guess. Um, I think it looks a bit more style over substance, but we'll see. I think it must come out.
I
What
mean, I think
else
that's
is
plenty
Zendaya in
to.
this year? The
What
Odyssey.
Odyssey?
I'm genuinely excited for the Odyssey. I think that, like, I think
Yeah,
Christopher Nolan doing old school Greek mythology is such a cool idea.
But with terrible costuming.
oh, it's fine. It just I don't understand the point of people going, "Oh, it needs to be accurate." It's
See,
like,
this is my thing though.
who cares?
And I agree. I agree. Who cares? But does everybody remember the outrage when Wuthering Heights, when all their costumes started to get released, and everyone was like, "This is wrong. Da, 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 you can't do this. It's a period drama. Da, da, this whatever." But then a man does it, and it's like, "Oh, it's fine. It doesn't need to be
No,
accurate."
I think it still had quite a lot of backlash. I've heard more backlash
Yeah.
for this than I have about Wuthering Heights. I didn't.
Also, Wuthering Heights had a lot of other problems, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was the wardrobe for Wuthering Heights. I just heard the backlash over other things.
Mm.
I think it was more just because Emerald Fennell was defending the choices that she made, and then everyone was like, "So why is she in a leather dress? What's that got to do with anything?"
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't care. I think as long as it
Also,
looks cool, I don't give a damn, and I feel like the Odyssey looks cool.
right, for this segment, we're now doing the worst take, where Callum and Zalima will be both discussing the film that they saw this week, which was Die My Love. I didn't see it. I did start it, didn't finish it. So Z's going to convince me that I should finish it, and Carol's going to say, no, you really shouldn't. So, guys, convince me.
Who wants to go first?
You go first, because I always go first.
Okay. I've never watched a Lynn Ramsey film, but I thought that I was really excited for this film. Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence, both really, really good actors, and I think recently have really come into their own in terms of getting bigger projects. And I think they both do a really good job with what they're given. But I feel like the film has these big themes that it doesn't really translate very well, because it doesn't allow for the characters to have their moments. And when you're getting somewhere with understanding why a character is feeling that way, it sort of takes a massive U-turn into being this abstract look on Jennifer Lawrence's mental health and potentially like postpartum depression and stuff. And Robert Pattinson's character sometimes starts to feel like it's just sort of there and not really. It's sort of a bit underwritten. That's it.
Where's your minutes?
See,
Z?
I to be fair, when I was watching it, I was thinking the same things. I was like, I don't know what's happening, blah blah blah. But no, I like it.
We can leave
Yeah,
it at that.
got to a point. No. It got to a point where I was like, okay, she's obviously going through. She's postnatal depression and psychosis. And then when I found out it was psychosis, I was like, okay, now I can understand why it's a little bit more abstract. And I enjoyed that. I feel like it is a weird ride. It is something where it's like, what is happening? But then kind of when you understand that, when you have a child, I'm assuming it's a lot of what is happening. And I feel like it's a pretty cool way of showing that in a weird way. And I think it's not that bad when you view it like that. No, because I do think that it was confusing when I was watching it. I was also confused, but I don't think that makes it bad. I think it just makes it weird and complicated.
If I'm being honest, I don't feel like I got much from either of you about that film there.
Well, I can.
I've
I've got some other
Yes,
points.
it is a weird. It genuinely is one of the ones where you are going to be sat there the entire time, like, what is happening? Because she does flip flop a lot. She does, like, one thing happens, you're like, okay, all right, I understand what's going on, and then someone will say something to her, and then she throw herself through a window. What? Like, what is happening? Genuinely, I kid you not. But then I feel like there's a point in the film after like I'd say in the last half an hour maybe, you kind of understand that she's obviously going through some form of psychosis, and these people are just setting her off every time. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, it then becomes understandable in a way. But you didn't like the ending, Callum. I liked the ending.
I think with my issue with it is it doesn't feel like it's got much. It feels like it's begging for some actual like narrative structure, and
Yeah.
I understand like the abstract or like it being sort of in her head, some of it, or like
Mm-hmm.
not really not really what is actually happening. But sometimes it feels like it's just doing abstract for the sake of it being abstract. Because I think when it's the best is when it's her talking about why she's feeling like that, and
Mm.
also like when you see them, because I found it really difficult to see Jennifer Lawrence's character, or Jackson, and I can't
Grace.
remember, Grace, and the kid. It was really struggled. I was really struggled to like sort of see them as a family, because it doesn't really ever represent that, which
Yeah.
might be the point. But also, I think it was best when it was trying to actually cover these topics of, like, I don't know, her losing her identity after becoming a mother,
Mhm.
or her like really struggling with like her past experiences of like potential neglect from her parents and stuff.
Mhm.
Because when it has that scene, that's great, and you sort of like go, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But then it feels like it does this thing of like, oh, she's okay, and then it's like, oh no, she's not, and then we're just gonna end
Yeah,
it there
well,
and
that's what I
leave it
mean.
at
Like,
that.
I feel like in the first before she goes to get like gets committed, before that, I would say it was like, what is happening? This is weird. What's going on? But after that, I feel like you kind of do get to understand her psyche a little bit in a way, not in the best way, but you do kind of understand it. And I do think that it is unpredictable and it is crazy and it is dramatic, and you don't know what's going on. Like when people are mentally ill, we have no idea, and I feel like that is what makes it kind of good. Like I'm like, I think the best representations of any like mental health issue are the best when they are a bit abstract, because none of us have had children, none of us, and I feel like I have no idea what it's like to go through psychosis after having a baby, and I'm like, that is why I really liked it, because maybe it's like that for some people, because I feel like a lot of it as well of that I did really like is that a lot of people were telling her like, oh, this is normal, like you'll be fine, and this everybody goes a bit crazy in the first year, but her level of crazy in this film is not what you would expect, and I think
Yeah,
it's cool. Like, how what is the levels of crazy then if that's the case? And I don't know, I think that it's kind of it was interesting. It wasn't, I think I prefer from the two Lynn Ramsey films I've seen, We Need to Talk About Kevin was crazy in comparison, like so good in comparison. But because I expected something weird and abstract and something that I probably wouldn't understand completely, I did really like it. But Ben is pretentious, so he might like it.
that's what
No.
I'm worried about. I think he would be like, oh, that's really good. I don't mind abstract. I just felt like it. The I really like the lighthouse and stuff like that. I don't mind
Yeah.
stuff which is purposefully abstract. But for me, my favorite parts of that film were when it was taking a more like traditional storytelling method. So like when she was
Hmm.
at the party, when she was being committed, and she had that discussion. Um, Even some of the stuff like with the uncle that
Yeah.
dies, like that stuff, I thought was really good, and I think the dialogue in it like was interesting. Um, but then when it sort of goes into the more like
Mm.
abstract stuff, like the whole, I also felt the motorcyclist guy, I just thought it
Yeah, I
was
wasn't really
completely
sure about what was going
pointless.
on there.
Um, and I wasn't sure if it was just her like sort of, because she wasn't getting any at home. She was
Yeah.
sort of like, it was more like her imagination and her fantasies. Um, but then they see each other in person, so I
Yeah.
wasn't 100% sure, and I just thought it was a bit of a waste of time. But yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
film
think
looks good though. It's a very nicely shot film.
yeah. I don't know, it was interesting, this like her constant need for connection with Jackson.
Mm.
But then I feel like he was always there in a way, like positive, well, so most of it positively. But I don't know.
I think when it the because that's what I liked. I liked how the characters were like, neither of them were perfect, and I think at
Yeah.
first Jackson was very like sort of like just comfortable in his life
Hmm.
and didn't really realize that he was doing anything wrong. But then as the film goes on, you sort of see him try a bit more,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, it's really weird, because you're like, oh, I really want to. You almost like, oh, Jack, because you're following Jennifer Lawrence's character, you're like, oh, I feel like Jackson should be the one that you're rooting against because whatever. But then as you go on, you're like, oh, I actually do feel a bit sorry for him. Like when they're in the car on the way
Yeah.
back, and his mum's in the house, and she wants to
Yeah.
have sex with him, and you're like, oh, this would be really awkward.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do anything heinously wrong, but then it's like, yeah,
But then I feel
neither of them
like
do
this is
anything
why I really
terribly
liked.
wrong.
This is why I really liked it, because I feel like it feels like what it would be like to live with somebody that has a mental illness. You actually have to actively try and understand that they're going through something, and try and understand it in a way that they want it to be understood, because I feel like a lot of people would just kind of brushing it off as, you've had a baby, you're going a bit crazy, it's okay. And I feel like at a point Jackson recognized that something's up. It's not as okay as everyone's trying to act like it is. Like, it's not as normal as everyone's trying to act like it is, and you're trying to support her through that. But then I feel like you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. And it
But like
was,
all those ideas are great, but I just don't think the film conveyed them
yeah, I feel like it does
amazingly.
in a very vague way. I think you have to actually sit and think about the film after. Maybe it's a second watch type film, but yeah, I think because I read a lot of like letterbox reviews, and then I read about the book, and then I read about the book after, I mean the film after I watched it. I feel like maybe that's why I'm kind of like, it wasn't that bad. But when it finished, I was like, what did I just see? But after the kind of understanding it a little bit, I was like, all right, I get it.
Okay.
Any questions, Ben, or have you come to your decision?
I'm of two minds because I don't feel like either of you really know where you're quite at. Like even you, Cam, like who doesn't like it. At times you like it. I love what it's saying. And
I like aspects of it, but as like an actual like full film, I feel like it just sort of misses the mark. Like it's got great scenes, great performances, but then you put them all together and it's just a bit of a mess. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's something that I'd ever want to go back and watch.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I think. I think the intention is you're supposed to, and it's not very. It doesn't make you want to rewatch it, but I think you're supposed to rewatch it. I don't know, because I liked it, but I don't. If I watched it in the cinema, I wouldn't have been happy. But because I had the chance to actually think about it and read about it, I'm like, okay, I get it a bit.
See, I feel a bit biased because I do like Glenn Ramsay, and I like to try and watch her films. Oh, I actually don't know if I'll enjoy it by the sound of it. I don't know if it's. I may be pretentious, but I don't know. There's only so much sort of ambiguity I can take in one film. I think I'm going to watch it this week, though. I think I'm going to give it a watch. So I think Z takes.
Yeah,
Takes
but
it.
this is the thing. It is.
For my own opinion.
Oh, you had me for a second. I thought I'd
No,
convinced
I
you.
don't think I like it, but I think I need to form an opinion. I don't feel like I'm convinced of either side that I like it or dislike it, and I think I just need to see what I think.
Okay.
So I don't think either of you really get the win, but I'm giving it to Z.
So I get the win. It's like you say it.
That's two in a row.
I know.
Take today.
Then
How are
everyone
we
wants to
letting
say
her
Z
have the
has the
best
worst
takes?
takes all the time. I once was. So here we go.
Oh. Can't pay me to do it.
Huh?
Yeah, pay me to give it her the win.
Does it? Is there a little bit of like payback?
Well,
last
revenge.
week?
No, not.
Yeah.
No, but I do think you should watch it. I do think it's one of those ones where you have to watch and kind of be confused.
Yeah. I need.
It feels like it's those films which you're not meant to like. It's not meant to have any like narrative. It's just meant to be experienced. It's like an experiential bit,
Yeah.
like theatre or whatever. It sort of half feels like that, and then half feels like it's trying to also be like a narrative drama. So it sort of doesn't achieve either or. But I guess I don't know. It's definitely got an audience, but I don't think I'm that audience.
Yeah.
Okay. But also, I don't think that I'm that audience either. But
you're just slightly more.
I kind of liked it. I think the only thing is that why I liked it is because, first of all, when it started and they move in together and she gets pregnant immediately, I was like, oh god, there goes your life, babe. You've moved into this man's uncle's house. You haven't written in ages, and they having a baby. So I knew she was gonna go mad, and it had me from there. But
To be fair, I was gonna rate it like a 6 out of 10 before the last like 10 minutes, and then it dropped to about like a 4 or 5 out of 10 after
God.
the ending.
I really liked the ending though. You know, die my love.
So every week we have a new prompt, and in honor of Dune Part 3 coming out this year, we're gonna do the best trilogy.
Well, the best
Which
is
the
obviously
best?
Back to the Future trilogy. That's the best. I don't like the third one, but it's the best trilogy because the first and second are so good that it just means it's the best trilogy. I'd also like to add, me and Callum have decided not to choose Lord of the Rings because we both agree.
I thought I was allowed to pick.
You're not
No,
choosing
you're
that.
allowed to
Otherwise,
have
I'm
Lord of the
choosing as well.
Rings.
Yeah, because otherwise I'll choose
Yeah,
as
because
well. So
No,
Callum
but
is not
that's
doing
his
it.
favourite film.
It doesn't matter. That's too obvious.
I'll
You'll
find something
find something
else.
else. So,
Don't you
Arby,
worry.
just before we exit,
Oh yeah, I got one. I got
okay,
one.
but Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy. We agree on that, right?
Yeah, by far. There's no
The second
comparison.
best trilogy is Back to the Future. It's an amazing trilogy, of which it's a weird trilogy where only the first and the second are good. It's just the best.
But the first and second are so good that it
Oh, it's
outweighs
so good.
the.
Don't even worry about the third. What you'll do is you'll watch the first and the second, and then you'll just rewatch the first, and then it's a trilogy. Perfect.
Now you see me.
Oh, jeez.
She's just one good take, and
I
she's
know
just come
she
up
just
with that.
They
it's so,
both just put their hands, their
oh,
head in their hands. But hear me out. Hear me out. If you like fun and I would have said Twilight, but it's not a trilogy. Okay.
oh.
Listen, it's fun. I like them. I saw both of the first two films in the cinema with my mom. Okay, my heart is in it. And then I saw the third film in the cinema with my best friend. My heart is in it. They're just fun. Who doesn't like a little bit of magic? And it doesn't have to be realistic. Because Ben hates the second one because of how fake it looks. Whatever.
No,
It's
no.
cool.
The
Who
first one, no, in
cares?
the second one, they do stuff that is not possible. It's just not.
It's a film. It's a film, Ben. It's a
No,
film.
but the whole thing is, oh, we're magicians. We don't actually have magic, but it's illusions.
But
And then they
guess
actually
what?
have
It's
magic.
still, regardless of that, it's still a movie. Your favorite film, but the guy goes in the past. That's not real.
But
That doesn't
but
happen.
within the context of the world, it is.
No. Yeah, within the context of the world, they
Mm.
are really cool.
I like
Magicians,
the first one. I
win,
do
win.
like the first one. I don't.
I like them. The first one's my least favorite.
What?
Uh,
That's your worst take
yeah,
right
no.
there. That's the only good one.
Sorry, I like the second one.
No,
The
no.
second one's my
It's
favorite.
awful.
I
What,
did no
Woody Harrelson's
actually.
twin. That's just
I
there's
think
no
it's like
reason.
no. That's true. I
Hey
think
there,
it's
brother.
like 2-1-3 for me.
That's
It doesn't matter.
wild.
The point is, it's really good, and I love them. I think they're fun. They're rewatchable because they
Ben's
they just
face.
are.
Yeah, sorry, this isn't showing up on camera, but I'm looking at it with disgust.
They just are. Like, sorry, somebody enjoys
Yeah. To
joy
be fair,
and
that's
fun.
that's
That is
mine and
honestly
Ben's
the
fault for
worst.
being grouchy and just.
It's a good fun film. You're telling me that if you were with a bunch of like, I don't know, people who, you know, you want to watch something fun, you want to just put something on for the sake of putting it on. You don't really have to pay attention, but you can enjoy
Yeah,
bits of it.
I think you
Yeah,
know
it's
what?
fun. Now you
I'll
see me.
watch four people throw a card around a security room.
And you know what? If
Not,
you put that film on for someone who doesn't care about films, they would love it.
yeah.
Yeah, they would. They'd be
Alan,
like,
can you
"This is so
redeem this?
cool."
Uh, my second favorite trilogy, because I would pick Lord of the Rings, is How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
The first one is amazing. The second one, maybe not as good, but still good. And the
Whoa,
third one, I
emotional.
think, is.
Gets me right there.
I think the third one is close to the first one, but I still think the first one's the best. Zalima doesn't look like she agrees.
I don't disagree.
Well,
I've never really cared for How to Train Your Dragon.
it's
Well,
just
look how much
great.
people enjoy joy
It's
and whimsy.
yeah. What
No,
happened
I
to your
like it. I
joy
don't
and
really
whimsy?
my joy and whimsy is there. It's I'm not a big I don't really like animated films that much.
Who's the anime girl? The anime girl doesn't like anime. No, I
Whoa!
know they're
Japanese
different. I know they're
animation
different, but what's wrong with animated
and
films?
I've never really liked them. And not that I'm a live action truther because I'm not, but I think that Toy Story traumatized me when I was a kid, and I've hated animated films since. But not actually not. Incredibles. Fantastic. But I don't know, I've never really liked animated films that much.
Well, How to Train Your Dragon is a
It's
near
good.
perfect
I've not seen the
trilogy.
third one.
Yeah. I do really like the first one.
Third
I will
one
give you
is
that. I do
really
like the
good.
first one.
Yeah, just never got onto it.
It's got one of the best soundtracks ever. John Powell does an incredible job
I
with that.
assume you love the live action remakes so much, don't you?
I've never watched it,
Mm.
so
But it's supposed to be very good. It's supposed to be pretty
Yeah, it's
accurate.
really good when you do
but
a shot.
it's like a it's a shot. It looks like, I think it is a shot-for-shot
Yeah,
remake.
it's shot for
So
shot.
why would I bother? I just watch the
Yeah, of course.
But it's directed by the same guy who directed the first one
I've
and
done
the
so
second
many.
and third.
I'd get
Yeah.
so bored so quickly thinking, I've already done this. I did it better.
That's my one.
It's a great trilogy. Not as good as Back to the Future. So you guys have.
Or Now You See Me, apparently.
Oh,
So.
that's awful. I can't be.
Now You See Me is a good trilogy. You guys are just being
We're
haters for the
hosting a
sake
film
of being
podcast,
haters.
and she chose Now You See Me as the best.
Yeah, because you know what? Not everybody needs to think with their degree. Sometimes think with your heart.
Yeah, you shouldn't think with your degree.
You shouldn't. You should think with your heart, because the reason that you love film is because you want it, like, because you studied it. No, it's because you enjoy the films that you watch. And I enjoyed Now You See Me.
Yeah.
So sorry. I watched that in the cinema. I thought it was insane. I'd never seen anything like that before. The first one.
Dune 3, I'm so sorry.
You're telling me you've seen a magician film like that before?
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Exactly.
Every week we play a game of Film Connections where two of our co-hosts will pick a film and we have to connect them through the actors as quickly or as least connections as possible. Today Ben and Zalima are picking the films.
Okay, I'm gonna go for Mamma Mia.
I'm gonna go with Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Okay.
Might have it. Who's it? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I've got it.
Who's the mom in Mamma Mia? What's her name?
Well, the actual actress, Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Okay, I've got it.
Okay. I think me and Callum might have gone the same route here, if I had to guess.
I've got it in
Okay.
3 if you include the two films we've said.
Yeah, same here.
Do you want to go first, Zalima? Because I think you've got different.
Meryl Streep is in Mamma Mia, and she's also in Devil Wears Prada with Stanley Tucci, who is the dad in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Cool. I'm very confident me and Callum have gone the same way here. Mamma Mia, Julie Walters, Harry Potter with Emma Watson. Emma Watson, it's in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Perks of Being a Wallflower, yeah. So we all got it in
So
3.
I feel like I win because no, I think that I win because you two did the same one.
No, but it's the correct one.
I'm happy to say that if you do it differently, if you do it the different way, then you win.
Yeah, because I got it
She's leading the episode.
in a cooler way than you two.
No, I agree. Yeah, but by that logic, I won last week because I got it in a cooler way than you did.
No, you two got it in the same way last week as well.
No, we didn't. Got mine differently.
I swear you did. You
mine
did. You two both went.
I'm
I
sorry,
went Emily Blunt. You
Zalima.
two both went.
Zalima.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci's not in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
No, are you thinking of the?
Yeah, this is the dad.
Are you thinking of Easy A?
Easy A.
No.
He's not in.
No, I'm not. He's the dad.
I searched up Perks of Being a Wallflower. Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci is not in the 2020 film.
Yeah, he's definitely not in the film.
Who's the dad then?
We were about to give it away.
Dylan McDermott.
Yeah, Dylan McDermott. His name is actually father on the cast list.
Yeah.
No, guys. I feel like you're wrong.
Well, I think we win. So that is the second episode of the Worst Takes podcast. We found out that I have the worst take somehow, and that Now You See Me is the best trilogy ever made. You've heard it here first. Anyway, thank you for watching. Next week will be, I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll decide what we're going to do next week, and you'll find out if you join us again. Again, thank you for listening, and we've been the Worst Take podcast.